A bit of breaking news, actually. It's just broke moments ago. According to reports in The Guardian, Jimmy Anderson is set to bring the curtain down on his record-breaking England career this summer after face-to-face talks with head coach Brendan McCullum. Let's get more on this now with double Ashes winner, former England fast bowler, legend as well. Steve Harmison joins us. Harmy, hello. Good evening to you.
Good evening to you both. How are we doing?
Well, good. Thanks so much for coming on. Listen, Anderson, of course, has taken a record 700 Test wickets and made 187 England outings. How incredible has Jimmy been for England?
Oh, you can't put it into words. I defy. I'm trying to think of sportsmen or women around the world in their individual disciplines and whatever sports they're in. He's up there with the greatest of all time in sport for what he's done, the longevity he's had, what he's achieved. You've got to remember, you look at, seam bowling, especially in the modern day, for somebody to take 500 wickets is a ridiculous achievement. So to go on and get 600, then 700, if it is the end for Jimmy, that's probably the end of a generation of bowlers who will look at the top of the ranking charts of the overall wicket charts, and they'll not get anywhere near. I don't think anybody in the future will get 350 Test match wickets. So for Jimmy to get 700 plus is a monumental achievement.
Steve, do you think it's a bit early for him to go, or do you think it's the right time?
Darren, it's hard. It's hard. We've been saying it's the right time for Jimmy Anderson and Stuart Broad to go for the last 5 years, and every selector that's come in, or every management team, has tried their best to move on and tried their best to look to the future and build for the next Ashes. And do you know what's happened? The people that have brought in either not been good enough, don't have the standards that Anderson and Broad had, always getting injured, prioritising white ball cricket. And we've had these two great fast bowlers. We had to keep going back to the well and asking them to continue and carry on. So Stuart went last year. It looks like Jimmy's going to go this year. It probably is the right time to look to the future, but I would love to see Jimmy have a farewell game or a farewell summer if bowlers aren't fit to do it, because I think he deserves to have everybody say thank you very much to Jimmy Anderson because of what he's achieved in this game.
Harmy, what are the next generation like? Obviously, excuse my ignorance, but obviously Jimmy gone, Stuart Broad gone. What are the next line of fast bowlers? Are they good? Are they good enough to kind of step in now without Jimmy being there?
Yeah, Darren, they are. I always, whenever I come on sort of talkSPORT and try and talk about cricket and put it into sort of football context, the fast bowlers now are like substitutes. I mean, they're good for 15 minutes and that's about it. And I say that with all respect to these young next generation. They are designed to bowl 4 overs. They're designed to bowl 10 overs. They're not designed to bowl 25 overs with a kookaburra ball that does absolutely nothing in the middle of the sun, in the middle of the afternoon, in 40 degrees in the southern hemisphere. These bowlers they don't do that anymore. So where we get our next generation from is going to be I think a thankless task. But with the well is good. I think there is potential out there. But the ones that I think we can hang our hat on. There's a huge amount of injury records behind them. So I think, put it in a football's context, we've got very, very good 15-minute substitutes that can impact the game. But we haven't got many that can go the full 90 minutes, to be honest.
I guess it sounds like Man United. Listen, let me get your view on why you think he's done it now. I'm sure I read this morning or yesterday he'll be 42 in June or July, but he's certainly over the age of 40. And this was a long time coming. Of course, you can't go on forever. Why do you think he's decided to call it a day now? And how much do you think was his decision, and how much was maybe Brendan McCullum pushing him a little bit?
I think that's a great question, Andy, and one I think only Jimmy Anderson can answer. I think Jimmy Anderson would like to have carried on.
Do you?
Yeah, I think I do. I think Jimmy would have liked to carry on. I think the winter, last summer, the Ashes didn't go Jimmy's way, and a lot of people were looking at his age, and I'm like, forget his age. This kid Jimmy's as fit as anybody. He's as hungry as anybody. His standards are ridiculous high. That's why he's got over 700 Test wickets. But unfortunately, he hasn't had the numbers from a wickets point of view in the last 12 months that he would like. So I think a little bit of both. I think McCullum might have tapped him on the shoulder. I think Stokes' decision not to go to the T20 World Cup and play for Durham, that was an indicator for me. That was the first sign of we are planning for Australia in 18 months' time. And I don't think Jimmy Anderson, even at 43, could have gone to Australia. So I think all that in the melting pot, I think that honest conversation has possibly happened. Jimmy might not like it, but unfortunately, the decision possibly could have been made out of his hands.
If he was sorry to jump in, if he was pushed, he's only 8 wickets off Shane Warner's the second all-time international Test wicket taker. If he was pushed, he'll be absolutely devastated that he didn't get a chance to break that record.
I don't think it's so much about the record. I think Jimmy would like to have gone on in his way. I remember I'm sort of speaking out of turn here, but I played golf with him at the back end of last summer and talked about Stuart Broad leaving the game, and Jimmy was like, I'm not bothered about fanfare. Yeah, you might wake up one morning, and he did. He was straight. I was like, Jimmy, why are you carrying on? It's got to hurt. Surely it's got to hurt. I mean, I was 33 and I couldn't stand up anymore. He's nearly 43.
And I'm drunk too much, though, Harmy, wasn't it?
Well, there was a time. I must admit, I was looking down and I couldn't see my feet. So, I mean, when you look at it, it's a great career that he's had. But he did say, he said, Harmy, you know what? He says, I might go one morning and just not on the field. It might just be one of them. It might be one of them spur of the moment decisions where I've had enough. I'm not wanting a big fanfare. Me personally, I did say to him, you deserve a big fanfare, because what Jimmy Anderson has done for cricket in this country, I don't think can be replicated. Once Sir Alistair Cook went, Jimmy Anderson, who will be a Sir eventually, what them two guys have done, bat and ball, for this country, I think is over and beyond anybody's wildest dreams at the start of their careers.
Harmy, you're a superstar. I know the news broke not too long ago. We appreciate you coming straight on to Drive Time on talkSPORT, having a chat with us.
Not a problem at all, guys.
Thanks, man. Have a lovely weekend.
You too.
There you go. In case you're joining us late, that was our friend Steve Harmison, of course, on the breaking news that Jimmy Anderson is set to bring the curtain down on his record-breaking England career this summer.
talkSPORT Drive with Andy Goldstein. Monday to Friday afternoon from 4 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.